Ari Lewis Show.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Ari Lewis Show here on Israel Sports and News Radio. Thank you for joining us. At any time, you can email the program arilewishow@hotmail.com, or you can email the station Israel Sports News Radio at gmail.com. Fitness in Israel, how important is it, and what's going on with the citizens of Israel in regard to their personal fitness? On the line right now, a man who got his personal training certificate from Wingate Institute, an IDF combat infantry veteran, marathon runner, much, much more. First time on the program, so let's give a warm Ari Lewis Show welcome to Mr. Mordechai Sopher. Mordechai, how you doing out there?
Hey, Ari, thank you so much for having me on the show. Doing great. Baruch Hashem.
Yeah, it's good to have you on. So let's talk about first general health of Israelis, because when you compare it to, let's say, the United States, it's interesting. More walking goes on here, obviously, and the food is seems to be healthier in general, although there's a lot of carbohydrate foods, things like falafel, pizza, etc. How would you assess the health and fitness of Israel in general?
Well, it seems like we're still doing better than the U.S., but statistics show that obesity is still a problem here in Israel, for sure. And the nutrition in general here is a bit healthier than over there. However, as we know, Israel has a large high-tech sector, and a lot of people are working jobs that are basically sitting for hours on end, and they're not getting a lot of exercise. And this is contributing to a lot of overweight people that are also working long hours, so they don't also have necessarily the time to work out.
It's kind of a double-edged sword. You know, their jobs are not physical, but their jobs take many hours, so they don't have the time to work out per se. Now, is part of your goal general nutrition, general health, general fitness? What are some of the things you want to accomplish?
Well, the main thing that I'm doing right now is working with kids that are looking to go to the Army. They want to get into good units. They want to go to combat units. They want to go to special forces units. So I know that the fitness that I do isn't per se to make people, the fitness in Israel is really a practical fitness that gets people to really help the country. They get fit to go into the Army, to serve in good units, and to make a difference. But I would say I really enjoy working with the normal person that just wants to get healthier, lose a little weight, get stronger, learn better technique for running, learning to enjoy working out more, because that's a big part of it, and just working with the normal person. But really, I've been working with a wide range of ages, and I've really enjoyed each different age group for its own. Each age group has its own thing that I really enjoy.
So is that what got you into considering fitness as a profession?
Well, what first got me into fitness, I've loved fitness and sports most of my life, but it really escalated once I got here to Israel. When I joined the Army, I found that I really enjoyed helping guys in my company get in better shape, pass the running tests, and just help. I realized that a lot of the Israeli kids, even though they were very motivated, a lot of them didn't have good nutrition habits at all, and a lot of them didn't, were new to running and fitness in that sense. So I really got into helping people in the Army, and then from there, after the Army, I started to learn and study at Wingate and get more into working with Army groups. So that's how it started, I guess.
Because it's kind of funny. I've seen this time and time again. You'll see a young guy who is just drinking Coca-Cola, eating candy, really doing whatever he wants food-wise, and you find out he's in an elite unit. You figure, how is that possible? I guess it's just kind of the way they grow up. I mean, how would you explain that?
Yeah, the culture here has definitely some funny things going on. I mean, you'll see, stand outside an Israeli gym, and you might see people chain smoking cigarettes.
Smoking cigarettes, right? Seen that.
So there's a big, unfortunately, there is a big smoking culture here. And as you learn when you study at Wingate or any place, and over and over again, smoking does not help with fitness, and it has a lot of negative things. And it's a big part of the culture here. But what I have found is that recently I found a lot more people are staying away from sodas, and I've met people recently that tell me they don't mess with sodas anymore, things like that, because they just realize all the sugar and the negative effects that it has. And once they cut that out of their diet and start working out a little bit more, they see results quickly, very quickly.
And I want to get to liquids in a minute. I just want to tell you a funny story. I worked at a camp about 10, 11 years ago, and one of the guys who worked with me taught health in the IDF, And one time I saw him smoking. I'm like, well, what are you doing? He's like, I work out, takes care of the cigarette. But the thing is, that's not exactly true. I mean, because the damage it does to your lungs, it's not like if you work out, that damage leaves, right?
Well, the thing is, when you work out, it lowers your cholesterol, and it does undo some of the damage, I guess. But when you smoke, it just puts it, it raises cholesterol. It makes more damage than you did from the good that you did from the workout. So you're really counteracting the workout that you just had.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Again, we're joined by Mordechai Sopher here on the Ari Lewis Show on Israel Sports and News Radio. So, you were mentioning, we were talking about the culture of Israel and talking about how things have changed a bit or hoping to change. Why would your style of training make things change? How would that work?
Well, I try to make the training very practical. I want people to feel like before we even start working out, that I want them to think and go over with me what's their plan, and how are they going to achieve that goal. And to realistically achieve the goals, they really have to think about how they're eating and how they're working out. And especially the guys that really want to succeed and go to good units in the Army. I tell them that it's not just the intensity of the training that we do together. It's how they are, quote, off the field. How they take care of their bodies when they're resting, when they're eating, how they sleep, things like that. It's a full package deal. And so I try to do what I can to make the workouts very challenging. I try to do a lot of the workouts with my clients and with the groups to show them that, I can do it and to push them along and to really motivate them. But I really want them to, when they're not working out too, to realize that that's part of that they're still going up, not going down by smoking and eating unhealthy foods and things like that. So I try to make it a full-time thing.
Let's go back to the liquids issue. Soda. I don't think anyone would argue that soda is good for anybody, but there are arguments about coffee. I've heard negative and positive about coffee. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've heard both. I think coffee, it depends. Different people react differently to coffee. There's no question that coffee does dehydrate you. So you really have to, if you do drink coffee, definitely a good idea to also supplement that with a lot of water, even more water than the normal person would drink, because it is a diuretic that will dehydrate you, which you don't want during your workout. On the other hand, I have met people in the fitness, serious in the fitness that drink coffee and work out at the gym, and they say that it really helps them. And so I think it depends on the reaction that it has on each person's body. But the important thing is that the person is doing the workouts. The coffee itself isn't going to make them lose weight or anything like that. But each person has to gauge how they react to coffee and make sure that they don't crash and probably don't drink too much of it. But some are able to drink coffee and stay at a pretty good fitness level. So I think it just depends.
Yeah, I had on Oran Aviv a while ago, a reflexologist and in nutrition health. She told me that basically for every cup of coffee you drink, you have to drink 4 glasses of water to equal it out, more or less. Would you say that's about right?
That sounds about right, yeah.
Okay, and in general, though, so, taking that calculation aside, basically the standard is 8 glasses of water a day. Would you agree to that?
Yeah, let's see. Also, it depends. They say if you can shoot for 3 liters of water a day, that's a very good, healthy amount to drink. I know that's not easy at all. What some people do, what I personally do, because I actually don't really like the taste of water so much. So I put a little bit of, sometimes a little bit of syrup, like vitaminchik and, some of the flavors that you like, and just give it a little bit of a taste. And I enjoy drinking water, and I drink more water that way, I find. Because if I'm just drinking plain water, it's very, I know myself, and I know that it's hard for me to get up to the 3 liters. But that's what they say. 3 liters is a very healthy amount, especially for someone who's training for a competition. It's important that several days before, not just the day before, to really hydrate extra. Someone training for a marathon, football especially, tackle football, they're losing so much sweat through the sweat that they need to really hydrate several days before the competition.
Again, this is the Ari Lewis Show on Israel Sports News Radio. Speak with Mordechai Sopher about fitness and nutrition here in Israel. You brought up marathon running. You've done that before. Are you going to compete in the Jerusalem Marathon this year?
I've run the Jerusalem Marathon the last 2 years. Both years I was living in Jerusalem. Actually, now I'm more in the Modi'in area. It's a great marathon. The atmosphere there is incredible. I'm not sure. I haven't specifically been training for it. I've been doing a lot of running groups, but I haven't been really getting in the long runs. So we'll see. I'm still deciding. I think I want to try some of the other marathons. I did run in the Eilat Marathon last year, which was all off-road. Really, really enjoyed that marathon. So there's some other ones that I would like to try for sure.
But my understanding is, I know Tom Weiss, a marathon runner, he's run a bunch of them, and says Jerusalem Marathon is right up there in terms of difficulty. You're talking about a lot of hills and some steep hills. What did you think of the marathon's difficulty?
Well, the thing with running and a lot of sports and in life in general is mentally is so important, your mental state. And for me, having lived in Yerushalayim, I knew the course very well. So I practiced those hills. I knew how to take on those hills. And I think if you run a course that you've done before, that makes it mentally a lot easier, knowing that you can do it. I've heard Israel in general has some very challenging marathons. Jerusalem is a very hilly course. But Eilat has its challenges in that it's off-road, and there's a section for a few kilometers where you're going uphill, and it's very loose rock. So that's definitely challenging. And then they say that the new one, the one to Shiloh on Kvish Hamesh, is pretty tough uphill because it's a very long uphill. So yeah, there's a lot of challenging courses out here, but Yerushalayim definitely has some pretty intense hills.
And, let's talk about triathlons because you've been involved in that as well. And I've been told by some people that have done it maybe for the first time, they thought that was the best thing they've ever done for themselves because it kind of works out everything. Give us your thoughts about the triathlon concept.
I think it's a great concept. I think that it involves a lot of training, for serious athletes and people that are very motivated and want to do it. I think it's fantastic. I'm seeing a lot of more kids now in Israel that are getting into it, which is very impressive. And it really trains you to really, you're using different muscles when you're swimming, biking, and running. So to train all three of those, all three are great for your aerobic exercises, and they involve slightly different muscles. So it's good to get that mix. And for people that want it, go for it. I know plenty of people that want to just stick to running, which is great. And but I think it's good for those that can do triathlons. I think it's a great thing.
Now, you've had a lot of highlights in your fitness career. You talk about, the marathons and what you did in the Army and all the learning that you've done. Is there a number one highlight for you?
Well, I think once I started to actually study fitness and do the course at the Wingate Institute, I think that was a big step for me because I knew it was something that it was a gradual process, something I knew I loved, and I knew that I not just love doing fitness myself, I really like helping people. But once I started to actually get into the classroom and learn the technicalities of, how the muscles work and things like that, I think that took me definitely to a new level that allowed me to now work in the field. And, now it's funny, now most of my satisfaction comes really from helping other people. Thankfully I was able to run a few marathons. I was able to accomplish things on my own before I got into training others. And I find that now I'm more in the focus of just working with other people, getting guys ready for the Army, getting people more fit. My goals for myself are to always keep myself in good shape because I want to be able to do the exercises and lead by example. And, but I'm less goal oriented with myself now in terms of I have to do this marathon and that marathon, and I'm more focused on how can I help other people.
All right, again, this is the Ari Lewis Show on Israel Sports News Radio. Speak with Mordechai Sopher about fitness and health in Israel. Now, I want to tell you a funny story. I've known you for a couple of years, real sweet guy, Mensch guy, and you were kind enough to invite me to your wedding. That was very nice of you. So I heard a story. This person will remain in privacy, if you will, but he tells me that basically, even though you're a very nice guy and sweet, when you train, you're an intense fellow. Is that true?
Well, I would say that when I start, either if I'm on the football field or running, I think I do kind of have a little bit of a switch that changes, within me. And I really like, I've always really enjoyed doing physical things and using my body. And in fact, I've gone kind of, when I've worked jobs that have involved being in the office for a long time, it's definitely been a challenge for me because I really like getting out there and especially when I played football, yeah, I'd say I definitely step it up into high gear. And I try to do the same when I'm training people and getting them fired up and, really getting a higher energy workout.
All right. So those people should be forewarned, like Mordechai's a mensch, but when you're working out, you got to get the job done, right?
Well, first of all, thank you, Ari. Thank you for the compliment. I really appreciate that. But yeah, I do try to, I want to challenge people. I want it to be fun. Again, I want people to enjoy working out, but I want people to also feel like they did something and that they're working, and pushing themselves even a little bit more than they thought they could, especially the Army guys, because those guys really want the push.
Right, for sure, absolutely. Now, another project that hopefully you're going to start soon, really cool. Now, where you live is by Modi'in, but it's technically a kibbutz, and there are kids there that want to play American football. Is that correct?
Yeah, so I live in Kibbutz Shalavim. It's right near Modi'in, and we kind of share a property with a yeshuv called Nof Ayalon, which there's a lot of Anglo families, and you see a lot of kids throwing around the football. And, the next project is to really get football going here and start with some after-school programs, and then see if it turns into something, a team, maybe something that can play in the league. And so that's my next project. And the kids so far have been really receptive of that. And I'm just trying to work out a few last details, and hopefully soon we'll get it going.
All right, that's really cool. Super Bowl Sunday's coming up, so that's a pretty good tie-in. I guess it shows you that Israel kind of can allow for a lot of things, no matter where in Israel you are, even a kibbutz, play American football. That's pretty cool. I hope it goes well, it's done the right way. And last thing before we go, tell people out there if they want to get in touch with you, want to get some fitness, learn fitness with you, train, that kind of thing, what should they do?
Okay, so the best way right now is to either email me, msoph@mac.com, or call me, 054-451-9094. I'm building a website right now, but those are the best ways right now to reach me. And I'd be happy to work with anyone, especially in the Modi'in area. And, I'm all about bringing fitness and health here to Israel. And it's really, I feel blessed to be in this field right now, doing something that I love doing. And so please contact me.
All right, great. All right, another episode of the Ari Lewis Show on Israel Sports News Radio. My guest has been Mordechai Sopher, talking about health and fitness in the Holy Land. Mordechai, thank you for being on the program. Very interesting stuff, and good luck to you with everything. I hope only good things go for you. You're a good guy. I like seeing good things happen to good people.
Wow, thank you so much, Ari. Thanks for the interview, and thanks for what you do, and really keep up the good work. And I really enjoyed being on your show.
Absolutely. Be well. We'll be in touch soon. Take care.